Has this drama and trauma made you want to leave the state? Well, New Jersey is close enough when Michael gets out.
I tell you, my husband was a police officer, an NYPD sergeant in the early 90s. So when we first got married, I mean, it was incredibly crazy and dangerous where he was working in the Bronx, and I got better. I watched New York City from the 80s turn into a safe, extremely safe city where I felt very comfortable wearing my jewelry, and I didn't feel like I had to look over my shoulder. And now I feel that it's kind of gone back to that, which gives me hope in a sense that if you have the right leadership, it can change in a minute. New York's always going to survive, right? New York is New York, but it's definitely changed. It's different, because when I was a nanny in 1980s, that it was very separate as far as like the crime, things that were going on. In Annie, we were Annie kids running all over the city together, and we would never had a problem. Like we never felt like anybody was going to be out to harm us or anything. And it seems a much feels much darker as far as
Yeah,
what's
you can't
going
even go
on.
into Times Square without getting beat up by Elmo and the Cookie Monster nowadays.
Well, Elmo alone, you should just stay away from that guy. That outfit is
He's got
a little
issues, yes.
sketchy, a little sketchy.
He's got some hate issues going on, maybe because they cut the funding. Well, has your faith in American justice been shattered through this?
I have to say that when my faith in the American justice system has never been it was extremely strong when I first got married to my husband, and I saw that how he was cleaning up the streets of New York and how it was all uh, somebody's here cutting the lawn, of course. How it was turned around, that you saw justice, you saw bad guys getting off the street, and how us as an American culture was all about getting the bad guys to be taken off the streets. And now when I went through this with my husband in the federal system, it seemed to be completely different from what I had experienced my entire life with my husband and his other coworkers in the NYPD or even federal agents that we knew, that and how it had changed. And my husband, when he became a private investigator after he had a severe car accident on the job at the NYPD, he was working for U.S. attorneys. I'm sorry, not U.S. attorneys, but for defense attorneys, often doing federal cases with the U.S. attorneys' offices, et cetera. And even then, it seemed better, And I don't know what happened since that time, but there seemed to be far more nefarious behavior going on behind the scenes, and they were getting away with it.